Hi everybody, welcome back to Frontier Patriot. I'm Ron Rayfield and this is my beautiful fiance, Justine Dorn.
Thanks.
And today we have made I'll say it's special because it's from the older time period than what we normally do. Normally we go from about 1780 up to 1830. So this one is from 1756, I believe.
Not only is this one from 1756, it's also written by the one and the only, and the guy you never thought could cook a day in his life, Benjamin Franklin.
As if he didn't do enough other things, he also had receipts written by himself.
He did, apparently. Well, this is from the Poor Richard's Almanac, which had everything you can think of in it. And this was published by Benjamin Franklin from 1732 to 1758. So every single year from 1732 onwards, he published one of these every single year, kind of like a farmer's almanac. And it had a little bit of everything inside of it. It talked about science, math, global problems, astronomy, like anything you can think of. He was talking about it, just poetry. There was everything in here, including the occasional receipt. And so today we have from 1756, Benjamin Franklin's recommended way to feed the poor. And not just any poor, to feed the masses. So this was originally for 30 people, and he recommended this to be made not only for Americans, but also he talked about how people in France should do it, because in the 1750s there was a whole bunch of crises with the peasants over in Europe and France, and he thought that rice was the cheapest way to feed a large quantity of poor people, which even to this day, I would figure, yes, it is.
Rice is very cheap. It's easy to work with, and you can stretch it a long ways.
Yeah, Benjamin Franklin was definitely on his own here. Now, you might be wondering right now, they did not have rice in America in the 18th century. Lies!
They did.
That is not true! You need to take that and take it out of your brain. In fact,
it was grown in the southern colonies.
Yes, in fact, okay, when we think of southern plantations in the 18th and 19th century, you might be envisioning cotton, tobacco, and more cotton. But in reality, rice plantations, especially in Georgia, were one of the top crops grown on plantations in the South. So rice was one of the top exported crops in the United States in the 18th and the early 19th centuries. Crazy, isn't it? But it just grows really good down there because it's so wet and humid.
Yes.
So we're about to try this out. I mean, it is gruel for poor people. So what are you realistically expecting here?
What is with all these poor people foods you've been feeding me these last couple of months on the show?
Boy, the economy's down and you know it.
I know it is, but I'm ready for some steak.
This is what we're eating. Well, we can't afford a steak, so we have basically rice gruel with some pork fat in it. And we're eating it out of our porringer. This is what this bowl is called, a porringer. So
what in the world?
So let's say grace, because this is technically going to be our meal, and we will enjoy it. Is it my turn or your turn?
I believe it's your turn.
Dear God, thank you so much for this day. Thank you for keeping us safe. Thank you for keeping everyone who's watching safe today. Thank you for this food. And to all those out there who are living in poverty, I really do hope that their fortunes change with your blessing. Thank you for this food. Let it nourish our bodies. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Yes. Now, I've already taken a bite, and I was pleasantly surprised. Let's see if Ron likes it.
I smell pork.
It has not pork meat in it, pork fat, which is cheaper fat than the meat.
I really, it's fatty.
Is it?
It's like a creaminess, but an oil slick of the fat.
You know what that's called?
It's weird.
Calories.
Calories?
When you're poor, you need a lot of those.
It's very strange. And very plain.
I like it.
If I was, desperate, like some of those people that he is referring to in the almanac, I would eat the. I mean, I'm eating it now, but I'd eat it with a smile on my face then.
This is not bad. I can't believe I'm saying this, but this would be an excellent breakfast dish or a late night snack.
I can't get over the fattiness. It's so strange. It needs any pepper or nutmeg or something.
Clearly, I'm a very cheap date.
Give me that nutmeg grinder over there.
No! We have to have the full experience.
I took 2 bites.
Take a third bite.
Okay.
And then I'll believe it.
Here we go.
Really weird, but I'm being dead serious right now. I actually really like this, and I did not think I was going to like this.
Okay, so the meat fat, I feel like I'm eating uncooked bacon because I taste the fat. You know, fat has a different taste when you eat like a pork steak or a pork chop. I taste the fat, so I feel like I'm eating something raw or that ain't cooked. Yeah, give me this.
But sure isn't, because we cooked it for 3 hours.
This will camouflage it a little bit, if I can get it to work.
I don't know. I think this is really good. I mean, to each their own. Sure, not everyone out there is going to like a dish for feeding the poor masses in 1756, but I quite like it. I think it tastes like a pork-flavored rice mush. It's
mush, all right.
Yeah, it's very mushy.
Nutmeg helped it a little bit,
like
but it's
porridge.
Still very strange.
I like this. Now, can you believe it? The quantity that originally was in this book was for 30 people. So I don't even know what situation that would be, like exactly 30 people.
Like a soup kitchen line, maybe?
Yeah, possibly, but I feel like you would need more than...
But it called for 5 pounds of rice, 20 gallons of water. That's a big meal.
And just the tiniest little bit of fat.
And then halfway through, once it's boiled, and the water has went off in steam, it says to add another 5 gallons.
Yeah, you want this to be really porridgey and, I don't know.
Soupy.
But, so we did not make the quantity for 30 people because that would be a waste of food and that'd be a sin.
Yes.
So we did the math and we broke it down to how much it would be for 2 people. This is how much it is for 2 people. Now, this recipe is not just for a meal. It says in the book, this is the quantity to feed a starving man for an entire day. So if you cut this in half, this would be mine, this would be Ron's. This is how much food Benjamin Franklin recommended to be fed to a starving person for an entire 24 hours. This was all you would eat for the entire day. It would keep you going.
Yeah. That would be plenty.
It would keep you going. I mean, you would probably still lose weight, really.
Yes.
You would probably still enter starvation mode after a while. I would say there's probably 2 of these in here per person. So 2 of these per day, that would be all the food you would get. But it would be given to you for free, so.
Okay, it's growing on me just a tiny bit. Because I'm on like bite number 9 now.
Who's counting? Now, speaking of Benjamin, and I'm not adding nutmeg to mine. I'm okay with it. That was a little soot on the bottom of that pan.
That was brand new.
I know. Oh my gosh, look what I just did. What? What do I do now?
Wipe it on your apron.
Pot holder.
Making messes.
Oh, it's not coming off. Oh, blasted.
You were saying about Ben Franklin?
So, on the topic of Benjamin Franklin, did you know that this guy was actually extremely badass? I mean, you don't think it. Looking at all the stereotypical portraits of him, he's old. He just looks, I don't know, like your crazy uncle.
Yes.
So you cannot picture him when he was young, and you cannot picture him doing anything really seriously cool. But apparently this guy had his first invention when he was like, what?
I think he was 11 years old.
He was 11.
In 1717, I believe it was, he invented the swimming flippers. Now, the only thing he had wrong about it is he didn't make them for your feet, he made them for your hands, so they didn't work that great. You know how hard it is to swim when you're underwater and you're trying, the drag is what they call it. So they tell you to keep your hands like this as you go through the water and cup.
Okay.
So if you got big old fins like this wide and you're trying to go through the water, it's so hard.
Well, I'll give him some slack. He was 11, and wasn't he a champion swimmer?
Yes, he was.
He was like actually listed as a champion swimmer.
He was regarded as a champion swimmer because he was such a good swimmer. He invented several swimming techniques. I don't know their technical names, but maybe like the backstroke.
Can you seriously picture Benjamin Franklin swimming? I don't know if I want to.
No, not as an old man anyways.
So I found some quotes by Benjamin Franklin that you might not know are actually credited to him. And these are quotes that people say very often. Some of them, others we don't say much anymore. And this is just a little sample. If I was to say every single quote that Benjamin Franklin said...
This would be an hour-long video.
This would be an hour-long video. He that lies down with dogs shall rise up with fleas.
I've heard that one before, actually. It's not very popular, but I have heard that before.
So nowadays, people say a person that lies with dogs or hangs out with dogs gets fleas, right? I've heard that one.
Surround yourself with good people is what it's saying. Successful people and you'll be successful.
Yeah, if you hang out with riffraff, you're going to become riffraff.
Yes.
Never take a wife until thou hast a house and a fire to put her in.
I've never heard that one.
No, that one's died out. It's saying... Do not marry a woman until you have a house. And a house with a fireplace. So she can cook for you.
That's right.
He was
you gotta
onto
eat.
Something. Eat to live. Do not live to eat.
I've heard that one.
Yeah, I've heard that one too.
And I struggle with that one sometimes. Sometimes I live to eat.
Men and melons are hard to know. It's very difficult to understand how to grow melons.
I've never heard that one.
It's also very difficult to understand the ways of men. Now, this one's my personal favorite, and I laughed when I found out Benjamin Franklin's actually the guy that said this quote originally. No gains without pains. I cannot believe that Benjamin Franklin said no gain without pain.
No pain, no gain.
He is the guy that said that. Without no pain, no gain. He's the guy that said that quote. That is a Benjamin Franklin quote. Like, I'm just picturing him at the gym now, lifting weights, being like, no pain, no gain.
Oh my gosh. What else you got? You got one more?
Take this remark from Richard Poor and Lame. So it came from this book, Poor Richard's Almanac. Whatever begins in anger ends in shame. That's a very good one.
That is very true.
Yeah, whatever you say in anger ends in shame, because things that you say when you're angry, you can't take that stuff back, and then it's embarrassing later on when people poke fun at you because of all the crazy stuff you did when you were really mad.
Right.
So he was born in 1706, and he died in 1790. So let's also get rid of the myth that people only lived to be 25 years old back then.
Yeah, it's a myth.
Yeah, that is a myth. Now, when you look up average life expectancies of years past, the problem is they also put babies and young children into that. Yes, a lot of infants died shortly after birth, and a lot of kids died within the first 10 years of life. They did not quite understand what caused dysentery and antibiotics and all that. They didn't quite understand all that stuff yet. So a lot of infants died from infections that nowadays it wasn't that big of a deal. But if you lived to be 20, you actually had, beyond that point, a very reasonably long life expectancy. Maybe not as long as today, but not too quite far off from it. So Benjamin Franklin, he lived to be in his 80s. And that wasn't like crazy unheard of in that time. I mean, that was kind of somewhat normal.
Well, here he's listed in one of his... This book here consists of all of his almanacs from 1732 to 1758. And from one of the almanacs, he's talking about a woman who was 120 years old. And then another woman who was 127 years old. And where's another one here? There's a man that lived to be... 150 years old?
Now, can you believe that? Personally, I don't believe it. I think they had the birth certificates a little wonky. But these people had to be at least 90 in order to look that old.
Another one. A man who died in 1670 died at the age of 169 years old.
According to Benjamin Franklin. Right.
Yes.
I think Ben might have been lied to a little bit on that one.
Well, also the calendar switched too, so maybe that confused a lot of people, and they didn't think about that.
Right, and a lot of people did not know the date of their birth.
Right, they just knew the month or the season.
Yeah, exactly.
I was born in the winter of 17, what comes after 3?
Yeah, they might have had a rough idea.
1709.
Right, they might have had a rough idea. But if you were more well off to do, you would have known. But if you were really poor living out in the middle of nowhere, you might not have known exactly.
Right. Now this book here, a very awesome viewer sent this to us about a year ago. This was printed in 1824, and this is a book consisting of all the essays that Benjamin Franklin had written.
Yeah, this is an actual 200-year-old book Ron's holding in his hand.
Now, it's in very bad shape, so I have to be gentle with it, but I'll just flip through and just read. I'll pick out 3 of the topics. So, this topic I have marked here, necessary hints to those that would be rich. Written in 1738.
We need that because we've just been eating a lot of gruel lately. So please let me know how I can afford some steak.
Now let's check this one here out. Oh, that one's on the death of his brother. That's a different essay. I'm looking for ones with topics. Let's see here. There was one that says something about marriage in here.
Okay, I'll take some marriage advice from Benjamin Franklin. Why not?
I'll tell you what. I'll flip to the table of contents and go that route.
Yeah.
All right. So there's another one that says advice for a young tradesman.
Boy, I'm still waiting on advice on how to be rich. Why'd you turn the page from that? Help me out.
But there's all sorts of them in here. On the art of swimming, a new mode of bathing.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Turn to that page, please.
So, page 193.
Okay, let's see how Benjamin Franklin bathed. Do we want to know this?
Now, I know he was known to do sunbathing, which is going nude in the
Oh
sun.
my god.
So that might be talking about that. Who knows?
Can you... Okay, your stereotypical idea of Benjamin Franklin just evaporated because he was not the guy you thought he was. This guy is a nudist. This guy's a champion swimmer. And this guy says that no pains, no gains.
I'm still looking for it.
Okay.
Let's see here. What page did I say?
Oh, I don't remember what
Oh,
page.
here it is. I found it.
Okay, good.
I found it. A new mode of bathing. This was written in 1768 while he was in London.
In London?
Yes.
Okay.
He actually went to London multiple times. He crossed the ocean multiple times. He went to France. He even went to Ireland, which I never even knew until I looked it up.
Must have been a girl there you liked.
I greatly approve the... Boy, I can't even read these words.
Here we go. Look, if you can't do it,
He's
I'll
a
try.
doctor. I can't read that kind of language.
If you can't, I'll try my
Okay.
best.
It's not very long.
Okay.
Just be gentle with it.
Okay. I greatly approve the epithet which you give in your letter of the 8th of June to the new method of treating smallpox, which you call a tonic or bracing method. I will take occasion from it, mention a practice to which I have accustomed myself. You know the cold baths have long been in vogue here, but the shock of cold water hath always appeared to me, generally speaking, too violent, and I have found it much more agreeable to my constitution to bathe in another element, cold air.
I knew it!
What? He takes air baths? He doesn't use water?
Sunbathing is air bathing. He's naked.
With this view, I rise early almost every morning and sit in my chamber without any clothes whatsoever, half an hour or an hour, according to the season, either reading or writing in the meantime. This practice is not the least painful, but on the contrary, agreeable. And if I return to bed afterwards, before I dress myself, as it is sometimes happens, I make a supplement to my night's rest of 1 or 2 hours of the most pleasing sleep that can be imagined. I find no ill consequences whatsoever resulting from it, and that at least it does not injure my health. If it does not in fact contribute to its preservation, I shall therefore call it for the future a bracing or a tonic bath. Oh my gosh. Benjamin Franklin. I cannot believe this guy's... Basically, he's saying a couple hours every night he reads naked, and it helps him to sleep really deeply afterwards. Oh
Wow.
my word. Especially after swimming. I imagine that would be very relaxing.
That's hilarious. Thank you for reading that.
No problem. Anytime.
Well, hey, let's get into This Week in History.
Yeah.
This Week
in History! Go. And then afterwards, we are going to open up our 1,000,000 subscriber plaque that we got from YouTube. And we haven't opened it yet. It's still in the box.
That's right. I completely forgot all about that, unfortunately.
But first,
we've got This Week in History. A film I've got for June 10th, 1850. Millard Fillmore sworn in as President of the United States of America, replacing Zachary Taylor, who died while serving as President in his first year after consuming copious amounts of raw fruit and milk.
Wait, are you telling me a U.S. president died from eating too much fruit?
Yep. And milk. He drank too much milk. So he imploded. He exploded.
What?
So he was definitely
Lactose intolerant?
Worse than I am.
Are you telling me a U.S. president died because he was lactose intolerant and he drank too much milk and then he ate a lot of fibrous fruit?
Yeah.
These are things that you never learn in history school, and these are the things that we need to be teaching kids because that is hilarious. And, I'm sorry about his passing
it's not
as well.
Hilarious.
I'm sorry about his passing, but I mean...
The reason is hilarious.
Any kid would just be
is
tickled by that. Yeah, that's insane.
So, the next one I've got here is 1890, also on July 10th, Wyoming becomes the 44th state of the United States of America, so happy birthday, Wyoming.
Happy birthday, Wyoming.
Happy birthday. And then next on the list, we've got July 11th. In 1767, John Quincy Adams, son of John Adams, is born. And he's also our 6th president of the United States of America.
Wow.
So happy birthday to John Quincy Adams.
That's a very patriotic family.
And then my next one I've got is also on July 11th. There wasn't a whole lot of different days to pick interesting things this week, so it's really only 2 days.
July 11th, things be happening on that day.
So on July 11th, 1804, Vice President of the United States, Aaron Burr, mortally wounds former Secretary of Treasury, Alexander Hamilton, in a pistol duel.
Oh, that story is just so incredible. And again, they don't teach this stuff in history.
Unfortunately, Alexander Hamilton died the next day from the injury.
Alexander Hamilton was in a duel.
Yes.
And he died as a result of his injuries in said duel.
He was one of George Washington's most trusted aides during the Revolutionary War.
Wow.
So he was an important man, but he never got to become president.
Wow.
He might have had he lived. He wasn't involved in politics. And then I have one more left here, and this is on July 12th. George Eastman is born on 1852. So happy birthday, George Eastman. If you're wondering who George Eastman is, well, he is the guy who invented the Kodak camera. And
get out of here! There's no way!
He invented the Kodak camera. The company was called the Easton Kodak Company. Until the early 20th century, the name was changed to Kodak. But he invented the first roll of film, if you will, for a camera. And that was in the late 1880s. I think 1888, if I remember
cannot
correctly.
believe it. I did not know that Kodak cameras went back that far, to the 19th century.
I didn't either.
And I did not know that camera film even went back to the 19th century.
Right, because they had plates and stuff.
Yeah, they had plates. So, Kodak cameras, wow.
So that's really interesting. I mean, I'm a photographer by career, and I had no idea about that. I didn't study the history of photography. I'm a self-taught guy. I didn't go to school for it. So maybe they teach that in school, but it was really cool to learn about it, that there was a roll of film in the late 1800s. I thought, rolls of film didn't come around until maybe the 19-teens or 1910s.
Same.
Or 1910s, I mean.
And then I found out that he's American. I didn't know that either.
American.
He was born in New York.
Yep.
So Kodak is an American company through and through from the 1800s.
Yes. And we've all used Kodak cameras before. Those little disposable ones where you...
The yellow and black cameras.
Yes. I remember using them things growing up all over the place. You go on a little road trip or a vacation or to Six Flags, your mom has the disposable camera. Okay, everybody get over there. Let's take a picture.
Right?
You gotta roll the little thing, wind it up.
Too bad that they say that their company isn't doing so good anymore.
Because cell phones, that's why.
Yeah, that's
the
why.
disposable cameras are great. I actually did a wedding about 2 years ago, and what they did was they bought a whole bunch of disposable cameras, and they had them with the centerpieces on the tables.
Ooh.
So you know how you get bubbles or you get like some trail mitts at a wedding while you're waiting for the reception to start? Well,
Okay.
they had disposable cameras at the spot so everybody could just take pictures, and then at the end of the night, the wedding party collected them, and then they developed them, so it was really cool. But I would say the cell phones, being able to take pictures and go live here and there and wherever, that's really hurting the disposable camera market. But there's still a market for them. They're great to have.
Yeah. The Polaroid cameras are kind of coming back.
Yeah, now those are cool.
Yeah, those have always been real cool.
Those are the real Insta photos.
Yeah, those are the Insta photos. So now we're done with This Week in History. We are going to open up our 1 million subscriber play button. I think that's what it's called. Go! Come on, Ron.
It's a plaque.
It's a plaque?
It's a plaque.
But I think they call it a play button.
A play button?
I think that's what they call it. So we have not opened this box up.
It looks like I have, but I haven't.
Let's show them how big this box is. Woo!
There it is.
Yeah, there it is. So on our main channel, Early American, thanks to you all, we reached 1 million subscribers, 1 million victims. Thank you so much. I feel like it's bigger than the 100,000 subscriber one.
The box is bigger.
Yeah, it looks tremendously bigger. I think you're the one that might open it. Yeah.
I'll let you reveal it. Huh?
Here we go. Thank you for the kindling.
And thank you to all the subscribers that made this possible.
Yes. Whoa!
Wow, look at that. It is bigger.
Is this real gold? Then we can finally afford that steak. Probably isn't. There's no way.
There's no way.
Okay, so they sent... I can't tell if that's hand-signed or if it's printed. But
That's printed.
It's printed.
Yep.
They couldn't even bother to sign it, man. Okay, but the head of YouTube printed the signature on here.
What does it say?
You did it. 1 mission, 1 channel, and 1 more thing. 1 million subscribers! Congratulations! You may have started with just a few viewers, but your voice, passion, and creativity has now touched the lives of people around the world. And the community you've built is enriched by the stories you've shared as you bring people together. To honor this milestone, we're proud to present you with the Gold Creator Award. We hope this special recognition will remind you how much you mean to so many. Every day you are redefining how content is created and watched, 1 voice and 1 video at a time. It's a privilege to be a part of your journey. We can't wait to see what you do next. Thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for watching and helping us to get to this point. It's been so much fun. I seriously view you all as my friends. I've never had this many friends in my life, and every time I'm feeling down, I just try to focus on you, and it keeps me going. So thank you so much. And we have, I can't even tell you how many things we have planned for the future. I mean, we're going to keep on going until we're old crones and we can't physically stand anymore. So I'm just bursting out of the head with things that I want to do in the future, and I'm really glad that I can share it all with you.
Absolutely.
So let's remove the plastic from this and make it official, and then try to go to the grocery store and pawn it for some food. Presented to Early American for passing 1 million subscribers. There you go, everybody. Thanks to you, we got this 1 million subscriber. I'm pretty sure it's called a play button. It's all thanks to you. We appreciate it so much from the bottom of our hearts, because this would not be possible without your friendship and your kindness and your patience with us.
So thank you, everybody, so much for watching. We're going to hop off here, and we will see you all next week. Thank you. Have a good week, and be safe. We love you all.
Be safe. We love you. Bye, guys.